So we're standing outside Slide Bar. No, we're not wandering around waiting to see who we could carjack. And we didn't just get off public transportation either. Or maybe we did.
No, we have a van actually.
Ah, a van. Does it have windows on it at least?
It does, but they're tinted, so...
It's still creepy.
Yeah, totally creepy.
Yeah, but we got foliage in the background. We're thinking green.
We're near a public school. We're not supposed to be within 50 feet of one, especially with our van.
All right. So tell us your name and tell us about your band.
Charles Elliott. That's 2 L's, 2 T's, motherfucker. And I play in Abysmal Dawn.
Sounds cheery.
It's, yes.
In
Very
fact,
optimistic.
Yeah. How was it described? How did somebody ask you what kind of band did you play in earlier today? What was that?
I don't know. Maybe you have a better.
It was like, oh, are you in one of those bands? It's like, you know, one of those bands like back there. Well, I can't really hear those guys right now. Well, you know, one of those bands.
Yeah.
And you're like, kind of similar to that.
Much. We're a band.
So what got you to pick up the guitar in the first place? And it doesn't even, I can understand even if it wasn't metal.
Are you trying to say, did I pick up the guitar for chicks? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, that's a potential.
Something
either that or your maybe your
not
inner
the love and joy of playing music,
but poontang.
Yeah, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm saying.
Well, no.
Otherwise, you would have chose a different genre of music,
yeah,
right?
Totally. Yeah, I would have been in a pop band or something, but I don't know, man. I just really like guitar. Always liked. And metal seemed, I was kind of like into classical music as a kid, movie soundtracks and stuff like that, and metal has that sort of epic, dramatic sound that, you know, classical music or movie scores and stuff like that have, so, and then I was starting to get into, I guess, the technical aspect of guitar playing, and metal, especially in, like, the 90s, when I was a kid, was probably like the last bastion for the Guitar Hero, you know what I mean? Like that whole shred cock rock thing was done with, and if you wanted to hear guitar solos, it was pretty much listen to death metal, you know, at the time.
So what was the band that really turned you on to death metal, in fact? Because I mean, I'll be honest, I mean, I'm sure we can all admit it, and especially you from the outside, from the inside looking out, to me, it's a genre of music you play because you love it, because you have love for it, because the chances of getting rich off it or whatever, I mean, the fulfillment is in playing the music itself and you know, expressing yourself at that time when you're on stage. You know, that's your 40 minutes to say whatever you want to feel, and no one can shut you up.
Yeah, I mean, I guess first couple bands I listened to, I mean, when I first started getting into music, I guess I was listening, you know, like Nirvana and Pearl Jam and
you're a grunge kid. I'm a
like,
Seattle guy, so that warms my heart.
Yeah, I was totally a grunge kid, I guess. If you want to get into like the technical aspect of what the fuck grunge is, it's I don't know if I listened to like what was actually considered grunge by purists. It was sort of like the heavy, I don't know, more commercial version, I guess. You know what I mean?
Well, at the end of the day,
like those bands like Mudhoney.
That's grunge.
Yeah, totally. But like
the Melvins.
Melvins. You know, people call them grunge, but like none of those bands sound the same to me. Like like Nirvana, that's considered grunge, right? I always thought that was sort of like punk and metal together.
It is,
but
really.
Then when you look at all these bands that were classified as grunge, like fucking Stone Temple Pilots, Alice in Chains, I don't know, other bands, Soundgarden, you know, none of those bands are fucking, they sound alike. They're not like punk and metal together, really.
It's a really broad spectrum, and that brush
like
doesn't really fit everyone.
Flannel T-shirt.
It was a style too. It was a scene. I'm sure you still have your docs and your flannels somewhere.
Totally. But yeah, dude, I don't know, like getting into stuff like that. That was sort of where I started, and then I started moving on to bands like Machine Head, Fear Factory, Testament, you know, Metallica. I guess Metallica kind of like opened up the first initial window of like heavy metal, and started listening to like, you know, like thrash bands and stuff like Testament and Entombed. But yeah, I mean, like, Burn My Eyes, that record changed my life. Demanufacture, you know, like, those bands in the early 90s, you know, really helped started me on that path to metal. And then it was like Cannibal Corpse, you know, just got more and more like brutal.
So you got your gateway drug for metal, and then it just sort of went from there.
Totally. Then I just, you know, it was so underground at that time that, you know, I had to really search for it, and, you know, reading magazines like Metal Maniacs, or even like in Guitar World used to have like a column of you know, reviews of metal bands. Usually they just talk shit. What was that?
Oh, there's no shit talking in the music industry. Come on.
Yeah. I just remember reading like a review for, I think it was like Extremely Rotten Live by Grave or something. And it was like just a couple words that said, "Yes, it is." It was funny as shit, but you know, I learned about a lot of bands from, you know, reading magazines, I guess, back in the day.
What guitarists would you say have been most influential in the way that you like to play?
I'd say James Murphy was probably my first guitar hero. First time I got that Testament Low record, you know, it was the first time I heard his playing, and after that I pretty much bought everything that he was on, you know, from Death, Cancer, Disincarnate, Obituary, even his solo albums and records he did stupid little guest solos on.
So if he was on Sesame Street, you tuned in that day.
Yeah, totally. Was he? No, I was kidding. No, I was a big fan of his, I guess. And then it was like, you know, Alex Skolnick and you know, Bill Steer and Mike Amott from Carcass. Buckethead was a big one. Alan Holdsworth, Paul Masvidal. I don't know, Frederick Thorndahl, all those guys. I was big into, you know, fusion too, so it was like Scott Henderson and, like I already said, Alan Holdsworth. So yeah.
Well, when it comes to, I'm sure that you still do listen to metal and enjoy it quite a bit. We've had many of the conversations just rapping about different bands, you know, which is pretty typical. But outside of metal, do you find influence from other genres?
Yeah, totally. Like I said, I listened to a lot of like fusion or like guitar-based instrumental stuff, you know, whether it's like Steve Vai or, like I said, Alan Holdsworth, Jeff Beck, Sean Lane. I fucking love Sean Lane. I think that guy is the most underrated guitar player, maybe the best guitar player ever, you know, as far as like his technique.
It's a bold statement.
His technique is ridiculous, man. His phrasing is awesome. He's just fucking fantastic. I don't know.
Blows your mind, huh?
Yeah,
gives you a guitar-gasm.
I'm just, my G-string just starts to tingle.
What do you ever heard Tony McAlpin? I like that guy quite a bit.
Yeah, I've heard Tony. You know, I never got like huge on the sort of 80s shred records too much, you know. I do like Jason Becker a lot and Marty Friedman. But yeah, I don't know, Greg Howell.
So you're out there, man. You're taking music from all different directions and trying to just. It's not about doing any one thing one way. It's just it's a system of finding what you like, what you can vibe with, and taking inspiration from wherever you can find it, right?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I don't like to pigeonhole myself to any one genre. You know, I mean, I'm playing death metal, but you know, you can't listen to it non-stop and
what? Come on.
I mean, I know there used to be people watching this who are like, man, fuck this guy, he's brutal. If he doesn't listen to death metal 24/7, like fuck him. It's like I don't even know if people still have that mentality. I know, like, when I was growing up, at least, people were more like all brutal all the time or nothing. You know, now I think people are a little bit more open-minded. You know, that genres are a little more.
Well, I know you've done well, you know, down there at the Santa Monica Promenade when you're there with your acoustic guitar and that kid with the bucket, he's drumming on it. And you guys are singing your.
I like the fucking Asian dude with the bucket, dude. Have you seen that guy?
No, I have not. Asian dude with bucket.
He sucks so bad. He's not good at all, but he just, you see him, he's rocking out with like a bucket and, yeah, I don't know. If you go down there, tip that motherfucker.
Do you think you guys might want to do a collaboration?
Yes, definitely. I think his name would definitely be over mine on the sticker text, because we want to sell some records, let's be honest.
Yeah, you know, we got to find any sort of avenue to push death metal on the masses, right?
Yeah.
Speaking of death metal,
Yes.
which is known for a sound, but also for a vocal style. So how did you develop your death metal singing voice? Stubbing your toe a lot? Or...
Yeah, I was like, damn. Ow! I don't know, man. I just kind of learned how to do it, you know? Some big early vocal influences like George Corpse Grinder, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think he was the first vocalist. I was like, damn. Like, I didn't actually sing at that time, but I would try and get my singer to like kind of emulate him, you know, and I would try and like figure out how he was doing it so I could convey to my singer like techniques that he used.
How much Jaeger is he drinking before he goes in for a session? Or how many prostitutes did he have to bang before he found that right octave?
Yeah, but I just I don't know, I just learned how to do it over time. I kind of studied people, I found out what worked and what didn't work. You know, I never wanted to blow my voice out, so you got to figure out how to do it.
Night after night and repeat.
You know?
That being said, now that you've acquired not only the skills with the guitar, but now you've got this walking death metal voice. Do you ever use it in everyday life? Or you or walk around, you're like, "Come here, baby," you know, something.
Yeah, that's only.
Is that a pickup for you? Can you just introduce yourself?
I use it at, you know, like daycare centers and stuff like that. Like that's why, you know, we back away from the school.
When you go through the drive-through, you order
you
order
go through the drive-through. Burger and fries, like, you know, what are you saying? But people are learning the language now. It's getting better.
Yeah.
It's getting better.
You're starting to become fluent in deathese.
Yeah, totally. You know, when this genre first started, people didn't really have the ear for it, but I think now, you know, we've come a long way.
Well, I pity the Taco Bell attendant that has to take your order later tonight.
Yeah.
But either way, I've been a fan of your music for quite a while.
But saying that, I just want to say that saying chalupa in a death metal voice sounds fucking brutal.
You give us that? No. All right. Well, maybe I'll catch it in your lyrics tonight somewhere.
I'll throw it in there. We'll start the set. It's chalupa.
All right. Well, just good to talk to you and just get some of your feelings about music in general and just introduce you out to the rest of the world that doesn't know who you are.
Cool,
And
man.
hopefully that'll change soon.
Cool.
All right, man.
Good luck. What are you trying to say? We're not popular? Is that what you're trying to say? He's like,
I'm not going to say you're not popular. I'm just going to say
we're semi-popular.
You say you're getting there.
Right?
You know, you're a chubby right now. You're not a full hard on.
Thanks, Dick.
But you know the thing about metal, and one of the things that makes it amazing is how close knit it is, how underground it can be to a point. You know, I mean, and I know that we all know that there's always that segment of, you know, quote unquote cool kids that when somebody actually starts to become successful, they get, you know, they get mad about it, get jaded that it's shared with the rest of the world. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's not about the amount of records you sell, but it's kind of cool if you can just reach more people with what you're trying to do, you know. And it's not about making people love it. It's just about you getting out there and doing your thing. And I love, personally, from my perspective, to try and introduce music to people and the people behind it that they wouldn't get a chance to otherwise, either because they're not going to give it a chance because of the style of music it is, they're not going to be open to it, or just because, you know, they have a misconception about what that really what that means. Yeah, so that's what this is all about.
Cool. Appreciate it, man.
All right, bro. I'll see you in there.
Oh yeah. Thanks very much.
Bye.